If you are tired of relying on standard indicators that don't work for your trading style, then you're not alone. By the end of this video, you'll be confident enough to create your own code using Pinescript on TradingView. And don't worry about it, Pinescript is super easy to understand. You don't need any coding background to do this.
Okay, before we get into the juicy part of the video, what do you need to use Pinescript?
Well, there's not a whole lot necessary to get started. To start, you'll need to open a TradingView account or log in if you already have an account. And don't worry, you can do everything we are showing here today with the free version. A basic understanding of trading concepts like price action, indicators, and time frames would also be beneficial. And that's it. That's all you need.
Okay, let's look at some Pinescript basics and how to get started.
After you have logged into TradingView, you choose a chart you want to analyze. Once the chart is loaded, we navigate to the Pinescript editor. You can find this at the bottom of your TradingView interface. You'll see a tab labeled Pine Editor. Click on it, and the coding interface will pop up. We can drag this and make it a bit bigger while we write our code. We don't need the chart right now. Let's now rename our indicator. Click over here, and let's call it Moving Crossover to keep things consistent. As in our last video, we looked at how to perform a backtest with moving averages using Python. If you see code in the Pinescript editor, we can just delete it. Or we can go to the down arrow next to where we just renamed our indicator, press it, and scroll down to create new, and then click on Indicator.
Okay, now that we are a bit more accustomed with Pinescript, let's start writing some simple code.
There are two ways you can go about this. We can just head over to ChatGPT and ask it what we want in Pinescript, or we can write it ourselves. To start, I would recommend using ChatGPT, especially if your end goal is to just start using your indicator and you don't actually want to become a master at Pinescript or something.
Valid points. Let's do an example.
Let's head over to ChatGPT and ask it to write us a moving average crossover Pinescript. Copy the code and paste it into the Pinescript editor. Now we just click Add to Chart and our custom indicator should be applied.
As you can see on screen, we have buy and sell signals and our two moving averages have been added to the chart. And this works on all time frames. We can cycle through to a monthly chart and it's the exact same story.
It's as simple as that. Let's take a closer look at the code itself. Okay, so here's what this Pinescript does. It creates an indicator for a moving average crossover strategy. A short-term moving average based on the last 10 candles in blue. A long-term moving average based on the last 50 candles in red. Then it plots both of these moving averages on your chart so you can see how they move. Now, the cool part is the signals it generates. Whenever the shorter moving average crosses above the long-term one, it adds a green buy label at the top of that bar. If the short-term one crosses below, it adds a red sell label at the bottom of that bar. Basically, it's highlighting potential trade entry and exit points based on the crossover of these two moving averages, which can be pretty handy for visualizing trends. Alright, let me show you how intuitive Pinescript really is. You might not even need to go to ChatGPT if you want something changed. So let's say you want to tweak this indicator a bit. How do you do it? Let's say you want to change the color of the moving average. All you need to do is to update the color equals part of the plot function. For example, instead of blue, you could make the shorter moving average green, let's say, or change the long-term one to orange, whatever works for you. Now, what if you want to change the moving average range? That's just the number of periods the moving averages calculate over. Right now, the short MA uses 10 candles and the long MA uses 50. If you want to change these, go to the part of the code where it says short MA and long MA and replace the 10 or 50 with whatever value you want, like 20 for short-term and 100 for long-term. Once you make these changes and click Update on Chart, your updated indicator will show up instantly. It's that simple. At this point, you might be thinking, wait a minute, we just coded a moving average crossover, but TradingView already has built-in moving averages that I can use. And you're absolutely right. But here's where Pinescript really starts to shine. We can take those basic indicators and combine them with other conditions to create something far more powerful and personalized. For example, in this script, we're not just looking at a moving average crossover. We've added a filter using the RSI indicator. Now, a buy signal will only trigger when the short moving average crosses above the long moving average and the RSI is below the oversold level, signaling a high probability setup. Similarly, a sell signal happens when the short MA crosses below the long MA and the RSI is in the overbought zone. This combination gives you a much clearer edge compared to using a single indicator. It's not just about spotting crossovers. It's about adding context to those signals so you only act on the best opportunities.
If you have code that is a bit more advanced and it's not working for some reason and you are unable to find the problem, don't stress. Since this video is for beginners, we recommend keeping things simple. If you can't figure out what's wrong, just copy the entire script and ask ChatGPT to help. And most likely the problem will be solved.
That's right. Once you've created or modified a Pinescript, you might want to save it for future use or even share it with others. Here's how to do that. Saving your script. Click on the down arrow and click the Save Script button in the Pine editor. This will store it in your TradingView account, so you can access it anytime. Publishing your script. If you want to share your work with the TradingView community, click the Publish Indicator button in the Pine editor. Add a title and description to explain what your script does. Just note that you'll have to wait 3 months to unlock this feature. You can also choose whether to make it public or private. Public scripts let other traders use your indicator, and you might even get feedback from the community. To access your saved scripts, go to the Indicators menu and look under Personal. All your saved work will be there, ready to use. One of the best ways to learn Pinescript, especially when you're just starting out, is by exploring TradingView's built-in indicators or studying other people's Pinescript code. Here's how to do it. Click on the Indicators button at the top of your chart. Click on Technicals and select any indicator you want to analyze. On your chart, hover over the indicator and click on the Source Code button. Experiment. Take notes on how different functions and logic are used. Then, try modifying the scripts if it is editable to make them your own. Maybe change the colors or add a feature like alerts. By studying these scripts, you'll get a sense of best practices and see how more advanced coders organize their code. It's like having a library of examples to learn from. You can also look at the community indicators, where you can choose between editors' picks, top, and trending indicators. Select any one you like and start learning from the pros.
Now it's your turn. Open TradingView and start scripting and experiment with your own ideas. If you have questions or run into issues, drop them in the comments. We'd love to help. And if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more trading-related content. See you in the next one.